So we have gathered here to witness a testimony of our nation's glorious protection force. So to start the event, I request and call upon my friend Dr. Nizamuddin to give the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome the dignitaries on the dais, the distinguished guests, and dear students. I am honored to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Professor K. Tarnikara Suji, a visionary dedicated to innovative and comprehensive to establish Pondicherry University as a center of research and excellence. Your presence today is a great inspiration for us. We sincerely thank you and welcome you, sir, to the DDE Knowledge Series Edition 2. This knowledge series aims towards continuing sharing knowledge by eminent experts from various fields. We are proud to have Major Raghavendra C. with us today, who will share his knowledge and experience of his Army background. He will be delivering extensive lecture on Army, It's a Way of Life. A warm welcome to you, sir. I express my heartfelt gratitude and warm welcome to our Director Culture and Cultural Relations, Professor Clement S. Lutz, who continually guides and motivates us to march ahead. Thank you, sir, for your kind and gracious presence. I express my sincere gratitude to our dynamic registrar, Professor Rajneesh Bhutani ji, for joining us despite his busy schedule. A warm welcome to you, sir. A warm welcome to all the deans, HODs, and faculty of various departments, non-teaching staff, media personnel, and colleagues from DDE with us in this morning. To all the students in attendance, I wish you an inspired and engaging morning. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Nizam. So as per our tradition, it's the time to felicitate our guest. So may I call upon and request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K. Tarnikara, to honor our guest today, Major Raghavendra, please. Thank you, sir. Now may I request our beloved Director, Dr. Arvind Gupta, to honor our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K. Tarnikara, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request our Deputy Registrar, Dr. A. Saravanan, to honor our beloved Director, Culture and Cultural Relations, Professor Clement Lutz Sagai, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. S.K. Nizamuddin to honor our beloved Registrar, Professor Rajneesh Bhutani, sir. Thank you, sir. DDE conducts lots of events, we all know that. The events we conduct gets elevated to another level whenever our Honorable Vice Chancellor graces the dais. His extensive experience and support gives us the strength to move forward. I think his parents know that earlier and they have named him as Dharanikar. So I think literally it turns out to he is the king of the world. Right, sir? So I request now our Honorable VC to give us a few words and piece of his knowledge to enable us also to get inspired and one day become like him. Please, sir.
Respected invited speaker, Major Raghavendra ji, and Professor Clement Sagaraja Lose, Director Culture and Cultural Relations, Pondicherry University, Professor Rajneesh Bhutani, Registrar, Pondicherry University, and Dr. Aravind Gupta, Director, Directorate of Distance Education, and the deans and faculty members and my dear students. And good morning everyone, and all the faculty members from DDE also. Good morning everyone. So first of all, I thank DDE for arranging this knowledge series. So it is edition 2. So now they have also invited very good speaker. So he is going to talk about army, its way of life. So before he starts, I also thought share my views about the army and its what is really going on our Indian country also, in India also. So I was in Korea for 2 years. See, all of you know that North Korea and South Korea had Korean War in 1953, and even the USA wants to remove all landmines in the world, but they don't want to remove the landmines between North Korea and South Korea. Well, that is the tension between these two countries. All of you know that these two countries are very small. Even the Korean subcontinent itself is small. But if you see the South Korea, it is smaller than the North Korea, and but you can see their impressions all over the world. So during my stay at South Korea, I was in Busan and Seoul for 2 years. I found that the military service is compulsory there. And of course, now there are many apprehensions that when the Agniveers enter into our army, definitely their 4 years will be lost, and what will be their career during after this. All those apprehensions are there. But I saw it visibly there. There is also the military is compulsory there, and every male should undergo military service, because it is a small country and the tension always will be there between North Korea and South Korea, but we have to be, some military personnel should be there. That's why it is compulsory in South Korea. There is no alternative, but only very few cases where the PWD or exemplary researchers, all those things where exceptions are there. But otherwise, for male, it is compulsory service there. And when I was in, it is 1996, at that time, there was a hot discussion was there. During that time, the president's, the sons, they were not into the military service. Why there is no military service for them? That was the discussion was going on. Because of that only I came to know many things about them, even though language barrier was there. Why I am telling this now is, even though they do service, the kind of advantage this society got, that directly reflects their working culture, that directly reflects their growth of the country also. So once it becomes the compulsory military service, we don't need in India because our population is very high, but there we need actually compulsory military service. So once they enter into military service, definitely the patriotism will be definitely high, because they know what is really going on in the military front. What are the problems country facing? They visibly see this, and there is no negative attitude in the society. Everybody will be working for the country, working for the growth. Once they complete this service and coming back to this, there are many years as per their requirement, they can serve the country. And even the smallest one, they come back and continue their studies. I could see they finished B.Tech. I was in chemical engineering. After this, they finished the B.Tech as well as PhD, and then they serve the country in the research as well as in the industries. But wherever they go, whether it is a research organization or the private companies, they work hard. There is no the kind of selfishness they show during that work culture. So definitely this will bring the military service will definitely bring the good culture into the society. Now, so I always tell in many places how to lead a life, a ethical life or honest life. We don't have now. We are studying for our job. Whatever the way we want a job and run a peaceful life, that is indirectly we are working for us, working for our own growth. But who will work for the country? So this is the problem now in our country is facing. 1.4 billion people working only for us. Then who will work for the country? So that is the reason I say the Agni Path is a very good scheme, and we should shed away all the apprehensions whatever we have. Definitely whoever is gone through the training there, they will be very good citizens for our country. They will definitely be very useful for our country, because the kind of training they get from there, and it is really bring good culture in our country. So my father was in army. I used to say this. He used to share with me also. At 5 o'clock, if they don't wake up, then you will understand those time. And even now also, the kind of discipline military brings to our life. This is very much needed for the growth of the country. So once this is good for this nation, there is no alternative. The insubordination you cannot see in the military service. So whereas in civil life, you can do whatever the way you want, but then we worry about the growth of the country, growth of the even university, everything. When you want to growth of the organization, there should be a discipline. So all those things are very important for our personal life also, and professional life also. So I think our Major Raghavendra will touch upon all those points. So I thought I will share some of the views, and whatever I had the experience, the way the military works, the way the army works, and you must be knowing this, how our country is being safeguarded from the surrounding of our neighboring nations, and this sacrifice is definitely we should all understand and respect, and we should show the gratitude also for this. And all those points, I think our Major Raghavendra will touch upon this, and I don't want to take much
experience also, and I think that if we can do, as you said, a little bit percentage of that military obedience and that into our life, we will also be certainly become more productive. Thank you very much, sir. Our beloved Clement sir, Director Culture and Cultural Relations, is our guiding light. Technically, he is our boss actually. He encourages for all our endeavors. And DDE growth in the activities, events, and in all dimensions is the proof for his nurture and care. And I request him to give his words to the gathering now. Please, sir.
Respected Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Director of DDE, and our Chief Guest, Major Raghavendra, Professor Humayun, the organizer of this important program, invited guests, scholars and students. It is my privilege to be here to share with you some of my understanding about the army life. Though I have a few things to share, I think that I must share them with you. I fell in love with this olive green uniform ever since I was a 7-year-old boy. At that time, my only ambition is to join the army. But at that time, it was not taken to be such a significant position. And I was greatly encouraged by my friends, but I was discouraged by my parents. And I could not become or join the military because of certain problems that I faced during that time, and partly, as I already told you, due to the discouraging words that my parents spoken about the military life. But at that time, we must admit that military always goes with battlefield and death. They only know these two things. And no parent will be happy to send their children to go to the battle frontier only to die. And my parents cannot be called as an exception to send me to this hard life. And somewhere or other I missed it. Later, as you all know, that I have become an artist. And my profession was a very different one. I have become an academician. But all the military news that we come across in the newspapers, I always used to collect. And now, if I show that file to our Major Raghavendra, certainly he would be very happy. A very rich collection of paper clippings about the military records and all the happenings that take place in and around our country. And not only that, what I missed in my early part of life, I just want to compensate it by way of making pictures. And since I have got the talent, I started with General Sundarji, the chief of the army staff of that time. And he encouraged me a lot because I was only a student then, and he was the chief of the army staff. And he wrote back a letter which has stimulated me to get more interest in the army. And my next letter was to Admiral Dahilyani, the chief of the naval staff. And he was also very happy and wrote to me a very encouraging letter. Having encouraged by the chief of the army staff and the naval staff, I thought that this is the right time to approach the chief of the air staff too. At the time, Air Chief Marshal N.C. Suri was the chief of the air staff, and I wrote a letter and I also enclosed some of my portraits. He was very happy, and as usual I got a very encouraging letter. But after a few months, I got another letter from Wing Commander Anil Chopra, and he is the commanding staff of the Tiger Squadron of our prestigious Indian Air Force. I never thought a letter would come from the commanding officer of this particular squadron, because I have no contact with them at all. I was surprised to find in this letter, sir, we are commissioning you for making 10 or 15 aircraft sketches flown by number 1 squadron from the very beginning. You must do that, because I had an interaction with the Chief of the Army Staff quite some time ago, and he was showing your letter and the pictures that you have sent to him. And he says that you must be made use of for the Diamond Jubilee celebrations, and yours is going to become part of our celebration. I was thrilled, but unfortunately, the time given to me is very short. In 15 days, I have to complete more than 15 aircraft sketches, and moreover, I can't simply follow the model they have sent me, because it has to be improved on, and I have to add certain logos which are not there, and some inscriptions also I must include in those sketches. But day and night I suffered, and usually the instructions came through telegrams. They will never write anything to me, and it has to be done within the stipulated time. Keeping the deadline in my mind, I worked so hard and completed well within the time. And I dispatched all those pictures to the Chief of the Air Staff too. And even now, when you go to Gwalior to see the Indian Air Force Museum, they have given me one small corner where all my pictures are exhibited even now. I have been praised by so many eminent men, starting from Abdul Kalam to King of Saudi Arabia. The list is long. But if you ask me, what has given me utmost satisfaction and utmost reward for my artistic creation, without any hesitation, I would tell you, it is the time when I was drawing those pictures. And it is the appreciation that I got from the defense staff. So, what I missed, it has been fully compensated, in my opinion. That is the army. But now we have got a veteran, a person who would speak much about the army, being an army man himself. The topic itself, it must have attracted you. Mahatma Gandhi said, Hinduism is not a religion, it is a way of life. And now the topic has been twisted in such a manner that Major Raghavendra wants to include army as the way of life. When you say way of life, it includes everything, habits, customs, and all sorts of things that go with it. Or, in other words, army becomes one part of our life. You should have that kind of a passion for the army. And I remember a joke that two army men, they were discussing about why they joined the army. One army man is asking the other, why did you join the army? That person immediately replied, I had no wife, I loved war, so I joined the army. What about you? The other person said, just the contrary. I had a wife, but I loved peace, so I joined the army. My dear friends, it is a very silly joke, but unfortunately it happens that when I interacted with the students just 1 week ago about our army life, about the VIPs who are occupying the highest positions there, nobody is aware of that. I asked a simple question, what is the highest ranking position in the Indian Army? One person said, Major General, sir. Why are you saying Major General? Sir, Major General. Sir, General is supposed to be the highest rank, but Major is above that, sir. General is below. Major General means then you have to assume that it is one grade more than that of a General. So this is the level of understanding. Why? Because even this ordinary newspapers, etc., we are not so very much interested and keen. And when you go through the military history, we are all South Indians, and when we go through the military history, you find that there are so many people who have sacrificed their life for the sake of our country. And I would cite the example of, sir knows fully well the entire history of Major Ramasamy Parameswaran, who has been decorated with PVC. That is supposed to be the highest honor that can be given to a military official, Param Veer Chakra. And he was in Sri Lanka, and he was sent to Sri Lanka for a very, very difficult task of maintaining peace with the rebels, the militants. But unfortunately, during the night time, when he was heading the team, there was a commotion. He heard the news that they are going to be ambushed by the militants. But in spite of that, he risked his life. He wanted to save his team of the army officials, and he took them to the place in a very, very protective manner. And the enemies were taken by surprise. They never thought that the major will be coming through the rear way. And immediately they started firing at him. One bullet struck him on the waist. Blood started oozing out, and he was still giving command to his subordinates. And another militant aimed at his chest and fired his gun. Straight away, it has pierced through his chest. And again, he is losing blood. And he is also hearing the call from the army commander that quit the place immediately and get out from this scene. We will send you more force, but don't be there. You are taking too much of risk. But he said, sir, I am ready to spill the last drop of my blood for the sake of my country. I will not move an inch from my position. Not even 1 inch from my position till the last drop of my blood is spilled over this land. You see the bravery and the courage of an Indian like us. And in fact, he did it. And I was told, even when he fell down, he fell at the back, because on the buckle there is our logo, the 3-line logo, and that should not fall on the floor. In order to protect it, he did like that. So, when you think about their sacrifice, when we read about the history of these people, naturally our heart goes to them. And sometimes we also feel that why we missed this beautiful life of the army. And now we have a lot of sophistication in the army, but unfortunately the great thinkers, starting from Aldous Huxley up to Bertrand Russell, they openly declared war is a barbaric kind of a thing. And no cultured man will think about war. War has done enough injury to mankind. The missiles that we are sending from country to country will not be able to distinguish between scholars, enemies, teachers, friends, or students, etc. So, they will destroy, because the army life, one thing is most important, they are all result oriented. Whether the result is achieved or not, that is what they look for. The other things are secondary. Achieving the results, they will go to any extent. That is the problem we have in the war front. And the place where the atomic bomb was dropped, Nagasaki, the second time, there is a cautionary board which says, rest in peace, the mistake will not be repeated. This error will not be repeated again. But my dear friends, let me tell you, the error can be repeated at any time. Only military people know that. Many of our generals said, every day we are actually waging an undeclared war with our neighboring countries. We do not know that is happening, but it is happening. That is the reality and that is the truth. But they will not come out with the truth, because blunt truth can give you more pain than sugar-coated falsehoods. That is why they are not coming out openly and say how many people are being affected by this kind of skirmish over the border. You will get demoralized. That is why they are not telling us. But as Russell pointed out, in the human life, this war is a barbaric thing because animals do not think war or battle or skirmish in a full scale. Have you ever seen 10 cats on this side and 10 cats on the other side waging a war? Have you ever seen 10 lions on one side and 10 more lions on the other side waging a war? There may be a fight between two dogs. There may be a fight between two cats. But wholesome war, animals will not think of. Only the humankind, is capable of doing this kind of mischief. That is the reason why Wilfred Owen, the greatest war poet, because after the Second World War, some poets thought they should not write anything apart from war, the horrors of war. When people are dying like goats in the battlefield, who will think of writing about the beauty of a flower or the grandeur of a mountain? So they started writing only about the horrors of war, and henceforth they came to be called as the war poets. And one such war poet is Wilfred Owen, and in the beginning itself he said, my subject is war and the pity of war, and my poetry lies in the pity. I am just quoting Wilfred Owen. The poetry lies in the pity, that's all. I don't want to write any poem in order to please you. I want to write a poem in order to make you shed tears about the horrors of war. Okay. But at the same time, you must understand, even though we are not ready to accept war, even though willingly we are not going to wage a war against any of our neighboring countries, we must be fully prepared. Because we do not know what will happen in the future. And that is why when those machine guns are getting leveled at the border, if you keep quiet and talk about pacifism and talk about non-violence, that will not help us in any way. That is why from the very beginning, you should have that kind of an inclination to learn more and more about the military life. In the foreign countries, they have one kind of a program that you have to complete even before graduation. Otherwise, you won't get a job. Especially in France, that this is so. Service militaire. But unfortunately, we are not having it in our country. Even though many chief of staffs tried it. But now, after the advent of this NEP, we are introducing this as one important subject. For 4 to 5 semesters, you will be taught. In fact, I framed the syllabus along with Professor Humayun, and Humayun is responsible for that. And he brought in several military officers. We updated it. Everything is ready. Only it has to be implemented as soon as the students join it. And in fact, they are the luckiest students because they will be knowing everything well in advance and they will be ready for anything. So at a time like this is my humble plea with the students. You please take an oath, at least from today, to read about the military history of our country. And better to develop some kind of interest in our military records. And don't be in a very blissful ignorance that it is not your concern or it is not at all necessary to know about who is the chief of the army staff or the naval staff or the air staff. At least for the sake of improving your general knowledge, you do it. So I conclude in the words of our Major Raghavendra: live by chance, love by choice, kill by profession. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's really eye-opener and lot of views and valued opinions you have given. Thank you very much for that. Now I request our charming registrar, Professor Rajneesh Bhotani, sir. Whenever I listen to his speech, I have the awe feeling, and I keep wondering how diversified his knowledge. So again, sir, I want to praise you before you talk. But it is true from my heart. His diversified knowledge and presence of mind to relate to that topic, whichever department you call him, because he's registrar, he goes to all the departments. I have attended many, and I used to think that how he is able to immediately respond and relate to that particular topic. So once again, if you listen to his speech, I think you will understand what I'm talking about. Please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for these nice words, though I don't deserve all these nice words. And I was in hurry because, we are all here to listen our Major Raghavendra C. And listening to Professor Klima, jokingly, it was coming to my mind that Arvind Gupta sir has very nicely arranged one free with the other one. But then I realized that we are offering two free with one. So we all came here for Major Raghavendra C. And we got so inspiring speeches by Professor Taranikar Su and Professor Klima. So it has set the stage. I don't want to spoil the stage set by the inspiring people. Professor Taranikar Su, particularly coming from the army background, son of army man. He also spoke from his heart. Professor Klima, of course, as usual, such a thought-provoking speech, and so many of thoughts that are generated. It's really wonderful to be here, particularly sharing the dais with such a decorated person like Major Raghavendra C. Itself is very exciting for a person like me, who do not come from an army background. Neither he has any privilege of being appreciated and being recognized by military, Air Force like Professor Klima has done. So it is, my day is already made. So I don't want to spoil your day by giving speeches. Only thing I would say is that particularly about the title, as Professor Klima also was telling, once you read the title, so many, this title itself is so thought-provoking. When you say army, it's a way of life. And it reminded me immediately the kind of, I would say it is a cliche in our field, as a scientist, a student of science. We always say science is not a profession, it's a way of life. So when we say this, what we mean is that in our day-to-day activity, in the mundane activity of every day, if we can bring our scientific thinking into play, if we have that inquisition, if we have that spirit of inquiry, if we have that spirit of questioning, that is hallmark of science, and we see everything rationally, we will say it is a way of life. Now, when you look at from the wholesome perspective, the complete perspective of a life, I think it would be better to say army, and it would be a perception from an outsider that it's actually a real way of life, and that is what we are very eager to listen to. The kind of graphic details Professor Klima has provided about the Paramveer Chakra battle, the decorated person's battlefield, was also reminding me another thing which I heard, of course, from Major Raghavendra C. himself. Many of you would have seen his YouTube video. I was one of them, happened to see his YouTube video. And something was asked to him. I don't know whether he already planned to speak about this or not, but one of the person interviewing him has asked me, what is the toughest moment that you had? This came to my mind because I was listening to Professor Klima's graphic detail of the battlefield, how the bullets were pierced through the chest and how people fall down during the battleground. And Professor Raghavendra spoke. There could be several toughest moments, toughest things to do in army, but the most toughest thing is when you see your fellow army man, fellow colleague, falling down during the battle, and still you keep your composure, still you first take care of him and then again pick up your arm and do your duty. That is the toughest thing that you come across. So that gives you, such a, I would say, heart-touching and inspiring, motivating, uplifting force, I would say, that you would say, okay, ultimately, whatever the duty I have to perform, whether it is as a student, as a teacher, as an artist, or whatever, if I have that kind of spirit towards my profession, towards my duty, if I can make that profession as a way of my life, that whatever happens, no matter what setbacks I face, no matter what toughest moment I go through, but ultimately I still have to show up during my profession. I still have to stand up and do whatever duty I have to perform. I think we will fulfill what Professor Tannikarsu was asking, that we have to do something to our country. If we can do our duty from our heart, from our honesty, full of honesty. And speaking of honesty, again another statement of Major Raghavendra I would use. I was just telling him before the program, sir, how do you speak so well? Your speeches are very motivating. You are a very inspiring speaker. He simply said, no, I just speak from my heart. So that explains everything. So I'm very, very happy to be here waiting to listen to Mr. Raghavendra. I congratulate all of you that you are here to listen to him today, and I'm sure you are going to go back a bit changed person, more inspired, more motivated after listening. So I congratulate the entire team of DDE, and the knowledge series is really very well appreciated. I thank Arvind Gupta sir, the director, who is very proactively arranging all these things with the able support of Deputy Registrar Sarvanan and the entire faculty team of DD, Humayun sir. Now I see Madam Malika Devi is also there, Sharikala Madam is also there. So I thank everyone who are supporting this kind of activity and congratulate all of you. And please enjoy the talk, which is the program today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think my point is proved, right? So this is we come to the crux of our program. Maramanam Manda Varichelavu Tetram Yena Nange Yemam Padaikku. This is Tirukural actually. Maybe Tamil people also will not understand, so just for that I'll translate. Valor, honor, glory's path, accepting and advancing with the already who has led, and the trustworthiness. These are the four that is essential for army and the people in the army. So this is given 2000 years ago. And we have the person to prove that here among us. So now I request my colleague Dr. Uma Sri to give the introduction on our speaker today. Please.
Good morning, one and all. I would like to thank to given this opportunity to introduce our chief guest, Major Raghavendra sir, G, alumni of Kishora Vidya Bhavana and Government Polytechnic Chintamani, joined the Indian Armed Forces in the year 1997 as a soldier in the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineering. Late Sri S.S. Samraj, his father was also an army veteran, and his mother Srimati Vimala retired as elections registrar. Through his sheer dedication and excellence in the field of sports, athletics, hockey, volleyball, boxing, handball, badminton, and equestrian for football, and also his continuous persistence in studies led his dreams to be what he deserves today. After he cleared Army Cadet College Wing Entrance Examination UPSC, completed his rigorous training in Indian Military Academy Dehradun, he close to be commissioned to infantry as a lieutenant. He was commissioned into the 16th Battalion of Royal Regiment of the Garhwal Rifles. The officer has a list of sports achievements and academic qualifications like Diploma in Electronics and Communication, Grade 1 Technician as a Radar Engineer, Bachelor of Arts, PG Diploma in Materials Management, Masters in Psychology, PG Diploma in Defense Management and Strategic Studies, MBA in Operations Management and MBA in HRD. He is an alumni of Army Cadet College, Wing and Indian Military Academy, Dehradun. In his 23 years of dynamic Army career, Major Raghavendra Ji has served in every remote corner of the country. The officer belongs to the elite fighting force of the Indian Army and Garble Rifles Infantry. The officer has also served as the administrative officer and officiating commanding officer of 1 Karnataka Signal Regiment, NCC and training officer at the group of directorate level, National Cadet Corps, Karnataka and Goa Directorate. The directorate won the All India banner under his training. He is also been awarded with the chief commendation of his humongous, selfless contribution to the organization. His postings at the counter-insurgency affected areas of northeast and highly terrorist-dominated areas of Jammu and Kashmir were so challenging. His tenure as the town commander at Bandipora, Jammu and Kashmir with the 14 Rashtriya Rifles is a care commendable and remarkable journey in itself. He is fondly remembered by the people of Northeast and Kashmir, where he has changed the perception of youth towards nationalism. The officer is also the mentor of the youngest kickboxing champion of the world, Miss Tajamal Islam from Kashmir. The officer is also a poet and has written more than 400 songs. Major G is an youth icon for many students who love to choose the path of soldiering with dignity in the service of their motherland. Now I request our Major Ji to give his inspirational speech and then sharing his knowledge about army and its way of life.
Jai Hind. Is the university sleeping till? Jai Hind. Okay, before they set up, let me understand the demography of this auditorium so that when I speak about the geography of this nation, if history does not go well. So, people from Kashmir, anybody here? Northernmost part of the country?
Sir?
No, J&K. Himachal. आप तो कानपुर से वाराणसी मोरे शंकर जी की जगह से हो गुड एनीबडी फ्रॉम एमपी भोपाल से अच्छा रतलाम से गुड सो यू गो वाया इंदौर और अच्छा वाया इंदौर Anybody who sells from any others from Rajasthan? Or other food? Okay. Northeast, we'll go with the sister states first. Assam. Oh, wonderful. How many are from Lekapani? Heard of Lekapani? No. Okay, how many? Tinsukia, Silchar, Silvassa, Guwahati, Dibrugarh, North Lakhimpur, India. In which other part of Assam are you? Aviyamapur, Kumarighetta, or Nagaon? Where is it? Oh, wonderful. Anybody else? Any players left out? Assam? Oh, wonderful. What clan are you? Oh, wonderful. Manipur. all basically from Manipur or nearby? You're all from Manipur or nearby places? City of Imphal or anywhere else? Oh, wonderful.
Okay, Tamil Nadu? There's only one fellow from Tamil Nadu? Oh, okay. Good, wonderful. Kerala? Oh, the largest portion is from Kerala basically. Every Kerala? Proper? I mean to say maximum. Kasargod. Kasargod is still a debatable question of Kerala. Yaar. I don't understand whether it is Karnataka or Kerala till now. Okay, wonderful. How many are from Calicut? Okay, Trivandrum, Kochi, Ernakulam, Alape. Good. So most of your constitution is happening from Kerala actually. Okay, good. So Punjab, Andhra, ఎక్కడ ఆంధ్రాలో శ్రీకాకుళం. Oh. Oh, wonderful. Who is from Tirupati here? Oh, wonderful. Anybody from Telangana here? Hyderabad. Hyderabad, ekkada? Oh, Uppal, okay. Oh, wonderful. Goa? Who would come from Goa here, right? Yes? Wonderful. Oh, any other states left out? Andaman and Nicobar? अपना ही है वो. लक्षद्वीप? Oh, wonderful. Silvassa से हो? Oh, wonderful. Good. Nice to know. Any states left out? Whom I did not address? West Bengal. अब ये मत बोलना तुम बर्दवान से हो. Oh, wonderful. Good. Oh, wonderful. Good. Okay. I have left out, I think, any other players left out? Oh, Odisha, sorry. I was part of Balasur also. So, where in Odisha? Ab ye mat bolo Rourkela se ho. Acha Sambalpur se aap. And anybody from Berhampur? You speak Telugu also? No. How come? See, people from Punjab not wearing a pug, and people from Berhampur not speaking Telugu, and people from Jharkhand not playing hockey. And how far I should trust, I don't know. Okay. Just it was to just an understanding. Okay, how many from Karnataka basically? How many from Bangalore? Apart from Bangalore, which part of Karnataka are you? Mysore. Oh, Mysore, okay. Udupi. Where in Udupi? Improper Udupi is also there? Oh, where is it? Acha, Karwar. Oh, so Karwar and Udupi combined together. I hope you don't clear UPSC in your life. Then demarcation will be more than 400 kilometers actually almost. Good. Chalo. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Clement, the Registrar, all the dignitaries of the Pondicherry University, the teaching fraternity of the university, the non-teaching fraternity who have worked behind the scenes for this event, the NCC cadets of Pondicherry University, and the present students of this university and the future of this nation. I take an immense pride to stand before you to speak my heart out today, and thanks for having me here. All your dignitary speeches have left me in confusion because everyone addressed me as the speaker of the day. I believed myself to be a fighter. So the contradictory of being a speaker is a most challenging thing which I could do. Let me try and explain in the way I do. I'll speak my heart out, and let us understand each other in a communication way. And it's a two-way communication, and you can reserve all your questions for yourself. Anything and everything can be asked and it will be answered. So this is the perception in which I believe. Live by choice, it is chance. Love by choice, and kill by profession. Do you know what that actually means? Anybody? A professional killer is a speaker today. That is what it means. This is what the dilemma I am going to talk today. Why should I join Indian Army? Because Army is a way of life. Trust me, I am not a promoter of Indian Army or Air Force or Navy or the services, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to just say something very contradictory what you are imagining. I will not ever say somebody to join the forces. I will only maybe inspire you to join one if at all you are fit enough to befit into that elite fighting force. Why should I join Indian Army is your own thought process. You find the answers for it. I am not here for this. If at all you join, this is what you safeguard. Please go back to your geography teacher who has taught you a wrong map of entire India. The map which is demarcated in the green is not your part. The map which is demarcated in red, claim to be yours or claim to be theirs, it is an unjustified landmark. If at all you have to justify what it is, then you have to join Indian Armed Forces. These are all Google-based contents. You can just what can Army teach you? I will suffice in one statement. It makes you jack of all trades. Indian Army needs few good men. You may not be intelligent to join Indian Armed Forces, but you should be very, very passionate to join Indian Armed Forces. You may not be physically fit, but you need to be very emotionally and mentally fit to be an Army person. The uniform what you wear is going to come with the trust of the entire nation. And when you wear the trust, it would always be a note heavier than what it feels so. This is what I believe in, nationalism. And the man whom you are witnessing, the Shahid Bhagat Singh, who was just a 21-year-old lad when he was hanged to death, 1931, March 23rd. And today, August 22nd, 2024, and if at all I am talking about him, and you are listening to him, and still I feel inspired to tell about him, and still there is a saga of stories which is untold about him, and that is what nationalism is all about, being selfless, ladies and gentlemen. And that is nationalism for you. Now I'll tell you what Army is all about. You would have thought Army is all about fighting. Army is all about valor. Army is all about sacrifice. Army is all about a passionate, uniform-led heroes. Beyond that, there is something else, ladies and gentlemen, that is called as camaraderie, which nobody would know. The senior most general of the army would sacrifice his life for the junior most soldier, and the junior most soldier would sacrifice his life for the senior most general. And that can never happen in any profession of the world. The officer whom you are witnessing on the poster is Major Gopi Singh Rathore, Shaurya Chakra, who was shot in a counterinsurgency operation with the militants in the year 2008. And this very officer was shot 17 times before he laid down his life. I happened to be from the same regiment and had an opportunity of being the company commander of the same place where he served. And that officer was also the ADC to President Abdul Kalam and President K.R. Narayanan. And he passed away on the same date when President K.R. Narayanan passed away. And there's an article in Times of India which says the president who took his ADC along. And I had the privilege of going back to the same place and giving reply to those people who are responsible for his martyrdom. And that is called as camaraderie. And you speak of the vicious cycle of the life, and this is the vicious cycle of life in the Indian Armed Forces. Now I'll speak of an army life which has got emotion, which has got love, which has got empathy, which has got fear. A very, very damaging statement, ladies and gentlemen. If at all you feel that a soldier would never fear, then you're wrong. I think we would fear as much as a normal human being would do. Yes, we fear the fear of failure. We fear that the trust bestowed in us, if it is let gone, then who else? We fear that the unfinished promises what we have made to the mother, the sister, wife, girlfriend, friends, family, relatives will go unfulfilled. We also fear that if that tricolor would not soar high with the last breath of my sacrifice, then what next? And that fear. And to overcome that fear, the training, the passion, the dedication, the commitment, the trustworthiness, the selflessness, that all comes with one thing, that is the camaraderie. And the picture in which you are witnessing now is a football team from Jammu and Kashmir. And there are 3 students who are representing the Brazil club today from a place called as Kashmir, where there is no proper electricity, and we could produce 3 international level football players. This is the harsh reality, ladies and gentlemen. When your body goes down, when you have to fight the battle, still be composed towards the battlefield. Saving his life would be a paramount importance, but when in vain, you have no choice. And we don't mourn the death of the soldier. It is a celebration in itself. This is what we are looking for. This is what a soldier would look for. This is what a soldier would pray for. This is what is his dream. The beautiful journey with the tricolor. This many wouldn't have told you, this is the most romantic kiss I've ever seen in my life. The kiss filled with emotion, the kiss filled with empathy, the kiss filled with pride, and the kiss filled with untold stories, untold love, and uncompleted. That's a totally incomplete feel in this love. And that's what this statement would make up. And the belongings and the tricolor, when it is handed over to the widow, and when the widow in return hands over that 3 months old baby to my hand and wishes her son to grow like me as an officer in the Indian Armed Forces, you standing in the uniform cannot shed a single drop of tear, but still hold your breath tight and still have that pride in you and the honor in you to hand over the tricolor to her, saluting her silently and going back unnoticed and unexpressing your emotions. That is what makes a soldier great. It is not the battlefield what you fear. This is that untold silence in the eyes of the widow which you cannot answer makes you fear. It is beautifully written in English and Chinese. The territory belongs to us, please go back. This is the parking sign what we launch at the borders. I hope you understood the statement. Is Pondicherry University as cool as the way it is like this, or it is a different picture what I am seeing? Any guesses? What is this? Any guess? It's a broken building. There's nothing to guess, but it's a government school which was bombarded by your beloved enemy. Have you ever imagined standard 1 to 10 in the same classroom? People studying in Pondicherry University should imagine this so that you go and serve better tomorrow. And the only thing that is going to change this entire perception of the nation is the education. The reason is very simple. Your history is supposed to be rewritten. Because 1857 is the first war of independence what is taught to you, and it ends at 1947. You people don't consider that we strived hard well years before. In the year 1792 AD, when Prithviraj Chauhan was martyred, there is a saying and a writing by a great scholar which says, "Here comes to the end of an era of patriotism, commitment, and an uncorrupt kingdom. Then follows the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, then the British, Mughals. Who not? But still you survived because you stick to the roots." Do you know, when I was asking, you are from Manipur, you are from UP, you are from Bihar, or you are from Rajasthan, everybody had an option to say, yes, I belong to this place. The day this country would belong that you're all from India, not from any state, that is the day when it is going to change and revolve a new revolution in this nation. We may be different with our language, religion, caste, culture, traditions, but we remain united for the tricolor. And that's what means an Indian to us. And that is not imbibed in your education. Then your geographical differences will create a separation in your history, the way India and Pakistan are united geographically but divided by history. And the day is never too long. Lord William Bentinck, I think, who made the education policy for you in the year 1935, that was the Education Charter Act of 1935. After that, your new education policy, which has come in year 2020, still to be partially implemented and doubtful, going on in the process. And the only weapon which is going to make or break this nation is education. Please remember one thing. You're all blessed enough to study in such an elite university. In your lifetime, if you get an opportunity, please do provide education to 3 deprived children at least in your life, so that they pave and dab a different color of dream for their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Army Goodwill School, Bandipura town. The class 10th is passing out now. It's already 3 years now. 3 batches have passed out from this school. The only school in the entire northern Kashmir which used to sing Janagana Mana on a daily basis even before your Article 370 was abolished. I hope you got my point very clear. Even before Article 370 was abolished, this was the only school that used to sing Janagana Mana on a daily basis. The principal of the school was kidnapped, tortured by the militants that she is not supposed to teach or mentor an army-based school. It is not only the soldiering which makes this country pride, ladies and gentlemen, it is also the lady, Mrs. Shabnam Kausar, who is still on date the principal of Army Goodwill School. And that makes it very so special. And this very school stood 655th rank out of the 31 lakh schools which wrote the World Olympiad of Science, English, and Mathematics and GK. 655th rank out of 31 lakh schools in the world. This school stands 655th rank, and I think one of the only Indian school to be doing so. And that is from Bandipora town. This very school has produced 11 international kickboxers, one of them being the youngest kickboxing champion of the world, Ms. Tajamul Islam, who is just 13 years old now. When I met her, she was 5.5 years old, and when she won the international medal, she was just 7.5 years old when she knocked out a 13.5-year-old American girl. And that is what is called as determination, ladies and gentlemen, because they have seen that hunger in them. And that is what can army make. It is not about only fighting the wars or establishing peace. It is also about spreading love and empathy, what army is all about, which you don't know. It is not that what media tells you is all truth. It is not that what you search in Google is all truth. What you experience is something immortal. This is the kickboxing academy, ladies and gentlemen, and the fellow in the blue tracksuit who is standing behind me was a stone pelter once before. And what Indian Army can do today, he is Padma Shri Faisal Ali. And this is a different narration of Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen, apart from fighting. I stayed for around 4 years in the entire place of J&K. I was a town commander of a town called as Bandipora town. 172 cases were pending where their houses were destroyed during the militant actions. For example, if there's a militant action, the house is destroyed and the family is shattered. The government is supposed to compensate either a job to the family or supposed to rebuild the house. So likewise, we had 172 cases in Bandipora since 1992, which we could single-handedly accomplish it completely, nil to nil. Out of 172, all 172 cases were abolished. All were either given a job or their house was rebuilt for them. And this happened during my tenure in Bandipora town. And there was not a single member who used to visit Deputy Commissioner's office in Bandipora town. It was only they used to knock the doors of the Indian Armed Forces. And that is what army is for you, ladies and gentlemen. The best companions of the warfield. What you're not able to see is the bodyguard standing here. This fellow is standing here for me because I never wore a bulletproof in my life. So my commanding officer was very worried about me. Bloody, if you die, I'll be answerable. So this fellow was always like a shadow for me. Then my boys used to ask me, "Saab, aap bulletproof kyun nahi pehante?" So I had one typical answer for this. All the dead bodies which I have lifted in my life of my soldiers had bulletproof on them. And when you would lift my body, if at all I am wearing a bulletproof, bloody, you will comment, साला बुलेट प्रूफ पहना था फिर भी मर गया. So at least I'll have that point of advantage of empathy and sympathy on me. अरे बुलेट प्रूफ नहीं पहना था, बेचारा पहना होता तो बच जाता. So I gave the benefit of doubt and I never wore a bulletproof. When you go to a rescue operation, I quote, this is a very simple, beautiful picture. 4 of army soldiers and self, we entered an entire house which was caught with fire to save this little puppy. Let us not talk about humans. Now you can imagine what we can do for humans. And just for this little puppy, 4 of we soldiers have dived into a burning, flaring house. And that is Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you seen Odi? How's the Josh movie? Oh, all of you. Other people don't understand what it is. Okay, it's in Hindi, so maybe there's a Malayalam translation also. You can go and watch it. Have you seen the eagle in the movie? Oh, wonderful. Do you think there was an eagle in the battlefield? Might be. Good. So, philosophy? What is? Huh? Education. Oh, no, you're part of education. What do you study? Acha, physics, okay. So, relative statement. To every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. Law of inertia is first law. Second law? No, that is momentum, rate of change of momentum. Though I am not from physics background though. Still, could manage. If at all you speak of law of incidence in the language of physics, there is a law of reflection which states back to you. And there is something which is called as law of refraction which nobody knows. And that is what these people standing here are. They were the eagles of the Udi operations, ladies and gentlemen. And there was nothing called as an eagle which was flying into the battlefield. And the video which you are seeing before my talk, before the dignitaries arrived, and that video was shot by Indian Army itself. It's in the History Channel. Please watch it. It is the actual way how the surgical strikes was conducted. Let us grant it to the whims and fancies of Bollywood. If at all you have to experience Bollywood, Tollywood, Hollywood and Collywood together, then you know the place. Join Indian Army, ladies and gentlemen. That is the place where you would be taught to. Okay, how many play video games here? Oh, wonderful. Recognize the weapon, please. AK? You are telling a name which even I cannot pronounce. What is the weapon? AK is the perfect number. I knew it was 47, that's why I placed 56 here. If at all you have to experience the real video game and you have to understand the real weapon and the real bullets, and there is no redos in your video games, and you have to be very practical about the practicality in character that would lead you to the victory, then ladies and gentlemen, you know the place where to be. Where? Thank God you are very, very intelligent people. And this is what Barkhadat will never tell you or Arnab Goswami will never scream about. The primary healthcare center is exactly 18 kilometers from a health center, and you expect an 84-year-old lady to walk down and downhill and reach here. Same is the case with Manipur, same is the case with Northeast. And we are a democratic sovereign republic country of this elite world, and we believe that we are a developing nation, and we have whims and fancies to show, and we don't speak up to the reality. Right to equality till the time it exists only in the constitution and it is not implemented, then your democracy is going to be hit for a 6. Till the time you only believe in the rights and you don't follow the fundamental duties, which comes on the last page of every textbook in your primary schools, then again your democracy goes for a 6. Having the longest written constitution and one of the largest democratic countries in the world, what we should be proud of is we are all rooted to our culture. So stick back to your culture, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to nurture you forever. Because when the French came in the name of the trade to this very place called as Pondicherry, the Pondicherrians never wanted to go back to France. And the ones they came here, though they were out of this place, once the power of governance was given back to India and we became independent in 1947, still the bits and pieces of the French exist here. That is what this culture is all about. It attracts everybody in the world. And that is why a bit of France still remains in Pondicherry till date. I hope you're all aware of what I'm talking about. So in this very picture, this is the Army Medical Center where we established for those remote places where the government institutions or the government establishments are not providing the required facility which is supposed to be. Any guesses what is happening? Still more specific? Any specific answer for this? This is an army camp in which the iftar is happening, ladies and gentlemen. The iftar namaz is going on during the Ramzan. I am a Hindu. I followed Roza for all the 28 days of Ramzan along with the people of Kashmir, the people whom we safeguard, and those people came to my army camp and we did the iftar together. And this is Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen. Every time there was a security gate, people come out, hands up, checking, bomb, rifle, weapon. It's for the ladies and it's for the gents, and they get inside the army camp. In my camp, it was very, very different. There was no checking at the gate. But there was a written saying, आओगे अपनी मर्जी से, जाओगे मेरी मर्जी से. This is the beautiful weather forecast for you from Kashmir, ladies and gentlemen. If at all you have to experience Switzerland in your life, if at all you have to experience, skiing in your life, if at all you have to experience what is something beyond 0 degrees, that is lesser than 0 degrees, then you know the place, ladies and gentlemen. That is Indian Army, ladies and gentlemen. If at all you have to go to Kashmir, you can go like a tourist, right? If you go like a tourist, they will show you what they want to show you. And if you join Indian Armed Forces, you will see what you wish to see it. Okay, how many are you from royal clan here? Anybody from your parents, your forefathers, or anybody from royal family? Any kings? Must be somebody. Why not? Must be from Kerala only, Kasargod. Hey, anybody from any royal ancestors you have? Ma'am is here. Oh, wonderful. See ya. Okay, now let us break the myth. Okay. Ma'am has already given her consent that she is from a royal family. Okay, how many of you heard about Abhignana Shakuntala written by Kaviratna Kalidas? Thank God, the people who have heard it. Heard? Heard about Raja Dushyant? Shakuntala, obviously. Their son, Raja Bharat, he was born in a place called as Kodwar, around 120 odd kilometers from Haridwar. Haridwar, Nazibabad, Kodwar. Heard of it? It is mentioned in that book. So that is the place where Raja Bharat was born. And we are all from Raja Bharat's family. So what are you all? You are all from a royal clan. I hope you understood. This is history taught by Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen. We all belong to a royal family called as India. You are not proud of being Indians. I again repeat, you are all from the royal family of India. If at all you have still any doubts left and you still have to be treated like a king, if at all you want your men to die for you, if at all you want people to just obey your command without asking any doubts, just sacrifice their lives for you. And there is only one place, ladies and gentlemen, and that is how you will be treated like a king. I'll just give you an example. One fine day I found one of my soldiers sleeping in the war field. It was a battlefield. We had already fought for 72 hours. There was extensive artillery firing from the other end. And everybody were exhausted. And this little boy who was just around 19 and a half, 20 years old, he was sleeping. I woke him up in the duty hours at night 2:30, I think. I told him, meet me in my office tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So the Subedar Major calls him to the office, makes him stand in front of me. So suddenly I get a call and I told him, wait, I'll be back. I leave the place. So my entire day passed. Evening around at 9:30, 10, I was back. I entered my tent and I was about to have my dinner. The Subedar Major comes and gives me the report of the entire day. So this happened, this happened. After all these happenings, he told me one thing. Sir, what should I do with that boy who was standing there? I asked, which boy? It was totally out of my mind. I said, the one who you told him to wait there. This is for all those students who wait outside your dean's office for a signature. That boy was just waiting there for the command that the officer had told me to wait here. I'll wait here. And that is Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen. And this is my regiment, the 16th Battalion of the Garhwal Rifles. Video gamers, I also understood sniper. My dog's name is also Sniper. Specific answer? See, video game players are very, very specific. They use very different kinds of weapons for different enemies. I have seen one of my cousin playing video game till now. He's an engineering graduate and works in Amazon. Even after bloody 30 lakhs of package, he still plays video game. And it is very, very astonishing to everybody. Then I see what he does. Then he sits with all loud music on with that PSP and he's re-killing that enemy often and often. Maybe he might be imagining his HR manager in that bloody, If at all your frustration should be out, it has to be taken out on the right time, on the right enemy, then you know the place, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Video gamers, shoot. The weapon. It is the first indigenous Indian small arms system 5.56 mm in SAS. The best garland one can wear, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever been garlanded in your life? Never. The day you are garlanded, you should understand that you're going to be butchered. And the day of garland is, and hey, are you really forgot your thoughts or you're acting so? When is the day you're going to get garlanded in your lives? Who told graduation day? Somebody told graduation day. Hey, on the day of your marriage, you will be garlanded, and later on, you will be, at least say something, no? You are already dead. Good. The way sir was telling, no? I had a great love for the uniform, and I could not make it. Same with my case. I had a great love for my uniform. I proposed, and I got married happily ever after. The best companions on your bed, apart from your girlfriend. You probably have to witness such girlfriends who would always help you out in the battlefield, who would never say no to your triggerings, who would always be happy firing towards the enemy, not towards you, safeguarding you, protecting you forever. The most versatility, the best ever profession you can choose, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Indian Armed Forces. This is a T20 cricket match what we conducted in a small township called as Hussainiwala. How many of you have heard of Hussainiwala? Where are you from? Uttar Pradesh wala to sune honge. Okay, how many of you know Hussainiwala? Good. In 1931, in the year 1931, the 21-year-old lad Bhagat Singh, when he was hanged till death, his mortal remains are in Hussainiwala, ladies and gentlemen, and that is an approximately around 13 to 14 kilometers from a township of Firozpur in Punjab. And the story what you know is his body was buried here, but the story is all the three martyrs, Sukhdev, Rajguru and Bhagat Singh, were chopped into pieces, and their chopped pieces were brought in a gunny bag and thrown in the banks of the river Satluj, where their mortals were buried. And that is the place for you, ladies and gentlemen, where I was posted as the company commander, and when I entered Firozpur for the first time, and I was very curious, very inquisitive to go and visit my idol's Samadhi. So initially we thought of going to a cafe coffee day first. Googled, the route showed just 8 kilometers. We started traveling, it was around 6:37 in the evening. We were stopped by one of our own guards, and they did not know that I was already back because I was somewhere out on a temporary duty. When I came back, and that guard stopped me on the Hussainiwala bridge. साहब आप आगे छुट्टी से? मैंने बोला नहीं यार मैं टीडी गया था. सर यहाँ कहाँ जा रहे हो? यार कैफे कॉफी डे में कॉफी पीना है और उसके बाद वी आर प्लानिंग टू गो टू हुसैनीवाला. सर आप हुसैनीवाला की तरफ आ चुके हो? यार कैफे कॉफी डे शोइंग 8 kilometers from here. Yes sir, but that is in Pakistan. Oh wonderful. तो हमारा कैफे कॉफी डे कहाँ है? Sir, it's just 64 kilometers from here. And that is what history can create for you or make for you, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, okay, let us forget cafe coffee day today. I want to go and see Bhagat Singh Samadhi. Sir, it's already late. आप कल सुबह आ जाओ. No, I have to go now. Reach the place. Sir, इस तरफ जाना. Reach there. Then that caretaker of that place, I shouted at him, यार इधर आजा बंदे कहाँ पे हैं? भगत सिंह की समाधि कहाँ है? अरे साहब आप तो उसके ऊपर खड़े हो. So I was standing on it. There were few emotions which rolled on, ladies and gentlemen. For me, Samadhi was Gandhi's Samadhi at Rajghat, where 2 kilometers away you leave your shoes and your slippers and you walk barefoot, take some flowers, offer and sit with silence and come back. And that is the Samadhi which I was expecting. But I was already standing on my idol's Samadhi. And there today, a granite slab has been built and it has been well taken care of. But I thought of why this happens to a martyr like Bhagat Singh. Train comes once in 2 years to Hussainiwala from Firozpur. Only 2 times, on March 23rd and on Baisakhi. Because the chief minister of the state comes there and all the political leaders come there, so they need their population to move on. So the train comes from Firozpur to Hussainiwala twice in a year. And do you know what is the best part? On March 23rd, when the people come here and gather and hail Inqilab Zindabad, 10 times fold the voice is heard from Pakistan. And that is what Bhagat Singh is all about, ladies and gentlemen. If that legendary of 21-year-old sacrificed his life, it was not for his name or fame. It was because he wanted to create that feeling of nationalism and patriotism in you, which we all feel that turning tricolor on our WhatsApp messages and on status and Insta updates and your Snapchats is what is all being an Indian. It's not so. Being an Indian is a feeling in itself, it's an emotion. Soldiers like me will never ever fear or wink our eyes to sacrifice our lives for you people, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't hate our enemy, we love you all. This is Bhagat Singh Samadhi, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you understand. You recognize this person? He is a former Chief Minister of Punjab, Prakash Singh Badal. This is how the Bhagat Singh Samadhi is reframed by the Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the army movement happening. If anybody believes that we are not spiritual, let me tell you, during Dasara, all the Navaratris are observed without having any food, along with my men, and these prayers are offered. And before entering any battlefield, ladies and gentlemen, without this ahuti, we never enter the battlefield. And this is what spiritual Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody experienced minus 40? Anybody? For video game you shouted. For any other thing you shouted. Kasaragod is silent now. Ocha, there is no voice there, okay. But I will give an option for Kasaragod today. Please go back to your home on leave. Tell your mom to clear all the belongings in your fridge. Just meditate sitting inside the fridge for next 5 minutes. Please tell your mother to open the door every 5 minutes and check your pulse, so that they should not be inviting me on the 13th day after that. So once you experience it 5 times on a go, on the 21st minute you will witness how minus 40 could be with whatever you feel into 44 times threshold. And that is minus 40 for you, ladies and gentlemen. And if at all you have to experience it live, free of cost, you know the place. This is the beauty what you witness daily outside when I get out of my room. This is Indian Army for you without electricity, without internet. Mercy food, mercy food because it comes with an chopper. They just throw the food for you. You go and collect it. If you catch it properly, you have to be Jaunty Rhodes for it, or you have to be Yuvraj Singh for it. If you don't catch it, it goes to jungle or it goes to water. So you have to be behind the food what they are going to grant you for next 15 days. So you should live on that. If you don't catch that food properly, then you live on the nature. You live on the nature in the sense anything moving, dead, lying, flying, you can eat it. And if at all you have to experience such kind of a cuisine, the one and only place where you have to be. After being in such place, for almost 18 months I could not come on leave. And when I came back on leave, after 18 months, without internet, without any kind of entertainment, the only entertainment what we had with our neighbors, that was separate. When I came back, and my cousins gave me a surprise. We have booked tickets for Vaishnav Devi. We are going to a hill station. Trust me, if they were not my cousins. You understood, right? Good. So they are still my cousins. So I had to go along with them, and these bloody family members don't understand the emotions at all. They only think that aage khana khila do, isko ek kar do. They don't understand. We army people don't need it. We need rest. Bhai. We are coming on leave. So this is the lifestyle for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's jokes apart, but we could have fought the enemies here. But there is this place. We have a mosquito by name called as Dum Dum. I don't know if any Northeast people know this mosquito. It exists exclusively in Arunachal. And this bloody mosquito, when it bites, no, I'll tell you the human satisfaction, the psychological level, the sadism in a human being. When you kill that mosquito, no, there is no pain. Because you have that feel that, you know, you have killed that mosquito. That bloody mosquito escapes from you. Then you are bothered. Then whole night you will not sleep. Then your night has gone for a 6. And this happens to us on a daily basis. And that mosquito, when it bites, it is not seen. It's almost a microorganism for us. That dum-dum mosquito bites you, pricks you, and leaves a mark. And then itching starts. Then you scratch. Then it opens up, blood comes out. Then it widens. Then centimeter by centimeter it enlarges. With your own scratchings though, but still you cannot resist it. So, this is the National Highway of India, ladies and gentlemen, on papers. I am very specific, and if at all we fight the war with China, we are supposed to use this kind of roads to attack China and win the war. China will die laughing only, first of all. They will not attack us. Do you know why? They already feel that roads are made for them, small and little people. You don't understand jokes also. What has happened to Pondicherry University? This used to be my hut. The last school of Northeast in Arunachal. Okay. This is a roadhead in a place called as Limeking. After this, there's a place called as Nacho. Then there's a place called as Ketinala. Then we climb up around for 6 hours to a place called as Tame Chungchung, where we see a board, welcome to the land of snakes. In my entire life, I was thinking Nagaland was the only place where there were snakes. Then I went to Nagaland and I saw Dimapur. It is as good as or bad as Bangalore. Then I understood, okay, Nagaland is not of snakes. There existed snakes and Nagas left nothing. Now there are only Nagas. Then down below from Tame Chungchung, you take a walk to Gelimo. That will take around 4 days. From Gelimo, you walk down to a place called as Nacho. It takes around 8 days. From there again, you walk down to a place called as Maza. Not Katrina Cave, Wala Maza. Actual Maza, on ground. And that is 8 more days. After 27-30 days of, vagabond marching, you reach to a place called as Maza, and that is your campsite. Now you have to go back on leave. You take the same route, 8 days, 4 days, 3 days. Again, I think 31st day or the 40th day, you come back to the base camp where you can catch a flight or a train and go. This is the process. In this process, this is the last land here, we come and park the vehicle here. So what if China attacks us? Any guesses? What if China attacks us? We don't have any protection in between here for these 40 days. There is not a single soldier standing. What is the fate of this country? Ever thought of it? Let me tell you what will happen. Our vehicles are parked here. They can't enter. You don't understand joke. You don't understand humor. Why education has taken so much of burden on Pondicherry University, sir? Have you people seen fighting in the Pondicherry roads for traffic? I mean to say parking. Have you ever seen a parking fight? In India, we don't leave parking place only, bloody we leave a piece of a land. I hope you understood. So the vehicles are parked, you need not to worry. This is what was my contention. Understood? This is the most desirable respect what makes you going on in the uniform. Okay, this is an, if at all you have to witness hospitality, ladies and gentlemen, please visit Northeast and please go to Punjab and please be in Rajasthan to understand what hospitality is all about. You will understand the language of hospitality in many folds. The warmth of the people, the culture, and the way they welcome you will make you feel so special. And in a place, Rajasthan, in between Pokhran to Jaisalmer, there is a desert where a family lady is dedicated to just fetch water to the family. 6 to 8 pots on her head, walking down the sand dunes and fetching water to the family. And that is her entire life. Can you ever imagine such kind of a life? This is the life, ladies and gentlemen, what we witness in India. And if that lady witnesses a patrolling of Indian Army passing by, she doesn't even hesitate to take out all the pots from her head and pour all the water to bestow the thirst of the soldiers who are marching. And she will go back again those 6 miles back and fetch that water and come back. And that is what makes us to die for this nation. There is a 6-month-old baby on the shoulders of a Rajasthani Gungat Vadavai lady. And when plane moves, ambulance moves, police jeep moves, that 6-month boy is still sleeping and she's still walking. But when an army convoy moves, that 6 months baby takes that little hand outside the gungat of the mother and waves at the army convoy. And that is that untold connection between the army men and this nation that cannot be described in a poetic language or a personified language. It is something which we need to feel. How many of you seen witnessed curfew? Hey, not the Janta curfew. ताली बजा दो, प्लेट मार दो, वो वाला नहीं. Actual curfew. The moment you open the screen of the window of your house, a bullet will enter you, your mouth directly. Such kind of curfew. Anybody witnessed? If you are made to stay 6 months in your house, probably not even switching on the lights during night, can you imagine the horror? This is the situation what we have faced in this nation. And that what makes this country very, very indifferent from others. And such kind of curfews, to say no, we need to stay united. And the only thing that divides us is politically driven religion. Otherwise, there is nothing called as religion in this nation. Because when a karga is lifted, it enters a mosque. And when I was ill My mother used to stand in front of the mosque with me holding, and the Maulvi Sahib used to come and do prayers on my head. So this is basically the understanding for ourselves that religion is different. Religion is nothing but the same. And we all belong to different religion, but united by one religion, and that religion is being Indian. Any guesses what is this? It is a parents teachers meeting in Jammu and Kashmir where a girl child was restricted by the militants to go to a school. If at all you send your girl wards to the school, you will be killed. So I called all the parents and told them, if you don't send your girls to the school, then what are we going to do? We will? Why destructive mind people? We will safeguard you, don't worry, you send us. Why destructive thoughts? You seeing an army person, you feel only destruction in your mind. There are many folds of languages which we need to talk in life, ladies and gentlemen, and that polished language is Indian Army for you. Okay, understand this? What is this? Any one sentence? Any one caption for this? Any one caption for this? Okay, I'll make it very simple for you. Caption for this? Adventure, very fine, but my English teacher is always used to tell me that, you should always take calculated risk in life. I never understood what is calculated risk. Calculator like a risk karna hai, risk like a calculator lena hai. I don't understand that. I never understood at all. But when I was doing this, then I understood, okay, this is bloody called as calculated risk. I am standing at a height of around 12,000 feet, calculating a risk that I may fall if he leaves my hand. And this idiot does not know that I am already shit scared and he is holding my hand without calculating anything that I will save him. And this is calculated risk for me, ladies and gentlemen. And if at all you have to experience calculated risk at untold heights and untold circumstances. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is exponential form of calculated risk. This is what I was telling. If at all you need to donate something, please donate education. Don't be surprised. Delicious dish. If at all that has to be explained in geometrical way, take a snake. You should never kill a snake and eat. You should hold a snake, then chop its head, then you will find a cylindrical body. Then you open the skin, slice it in the center, then cylinder turns into a rectangle. That is when I understood cylinder had a rectangle. My geometrical teacher kept on telling it in my 8th standard, I never understood it. Then I understood, okay, when you open a cylinder, you have a rectangle. Thanks to Indian Army for teaching me geometry too. Any guesses what was this? I'll explain. There was an India-Pakistan match. And I think the T20 match where Pakistan won against India. And this fellow got too excited and he lit crackers. And they live in thatched roofs. And his excitement, his roof got fire. And Indian Army was there to save him. and provide blankets for him. I hope you understood. India and Pakistan, when it plays, we feel that we are Indians. Every time we cannot bring a World Cup match for you to make you understand that you're Indian. And that realization should come deep within. And it's a process altogether. Just by taking birth in India and having a PAN card and an Aadhaar card, and just by having an voting right, you are never an Indian. And just being sold for rupees 2,000 a vote, you cannot become an Indian. How many of you have been to picnics? Kerala, it's everybody, yes, correct. You have been to picnics? If at all, your picnics have to be in a nomad way. Picnic is not that you go, you park your car, you reach out to the hilltop and put a tent and sleep. Picnic is something like this. You know what is the speciality of this picnic? There is a confirmation ticket to go. I hope you understood. If you have to go to such uncertain picnics, adventurous picnics, this is one of the beautiful pictures of my life. An Indian Army officer in uniform, a Kashmiri Muslim girl with a hijab on her head and a tricolor in her hand. All three in one frame can never happen, ladies and gentlemen. That is a miracle in itself. Any guesses? They are the surrendered militants who dropped their weapons and wanted to come back to live a normal life along with their families. Once they fled from India to Pakistan, infiltrated inside India to kill Indians. They fought for the liberation of so-called Kashmir. And when they were caught, they surrendered that we are Kashmiris. And we, the sovereign democratic republic country, stood by their side, accepted their surrender, gave them an opportunity to restart their life. It is as good as you copying in your semester and exams. Your invigilator catches you, you are put up to the board, then that committee decides, okay, give them one more. That would never happen with your case. Militants are better than you. I hope you understood. And we also rehabilitate them for their normal life. And what you see is that what is preached in Bhagavad Gita is also the same. Once you surrender, you're not supposed to attack, you're not supposed to kill. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Got it? The other one is dharma himsa tataivacha. If at all it needs to be restored, then there is nothing wrong in lifting up a weapon. Any guesses, ladies and gentlemen? What is this? Just a sec. This is basically my interview with Mr. Unikrishnan. He is from Kerala though. He is an editor in Times of India who had come to, and India Today also. And he had come to interview me in Bandipura town when I had saved 3 boys who went to Gaza to save Gaza. They were in Kashmir and some idiot, a religious Maulvi who wanted them to be militants, brainwashed them and dog-trained and told them Gaza is in danger. And these 3 young lads of 8th standard decided that, we'll go and save Gaza. And their geography teacher was also like yours. They showed Gaza is here. So they left in that direction towards Pakistan. They entered POK. their parents came running to my camp telling that they are not seen from 3 days. So we had to launch a search operation and get them back live, and all 3 are doing well today. And that article was done in India Today. And this is what doctrination can do for you. So that is why I tell you people, please learn your geography right so that your history is right. How many of you have heard of Buranwani's operation? How does it matter to you? How many of you have heard of Mir Qasim? Oh, good. Good. At least 2 of you. If you 2 people also wouldn't have lifted your hand, no, I would have gone and cried outside and I would have come back. Because how many people we lost for it? Whoever makes the foreign policy, whoever makes the bureaucracy, politicians, I don't know. But who decides the foreign policy? It is the 10th pass soldier who is standing in front of 100 meters from the enemy. He is just 10th standard pass. He will decide the foreign policy of a nation. And that is dignified foreign policy for you, ladies and gentlemen. Why that laugh? You saw past and future together. Oh, sorry. Gamers? Yeah, it's a Trevor. Any guesses? Vehicle? It's called as a Rakshak. It's an mine protective vehicle, bulletproof vehicle, and that has been attempted to kill me many a times. Thanks to this Rakshak that I am talking in front of you today. If at all you have to experience such kind of long drives in such unique vehicles, how many of you heard of floods in Kashmir? Oh, you didn't hear till the time the flood doesn't hit your house. Okay, good. In the year 2016, the first thing which was rescued in the flood was this small calf. After this, a havoc happened in Kashmir. And here, I will tell you an incident where we took a low steam boat to rescue a pregnant lady and then 75-year-old old lady. When we reached the first floor of the house, the pregnant lady and the old lady threw their pots on our steamer boat. The lady shouted, "You are a kafir, you are a Hindu. If you touch us, it's not going to be pious for them." They were ready to die but not get into the boats to save their lives. A pregnant lady and a 75-year-old old lady. And that is the mindset. And after that, we safely got the pregnant lady into the steamer boat, making her understand that there is one more life. And the old lady was in a gunny bag, and the gunny bag was opened in the steamer boat. Then I told that lady, Allahu Hafizul Latifun Kadimun Nazaliun Hayun Kayamun Layanamu. This is what the first phrases of Quran says, and that is what your Bhagavad Gita also says. And the lady hugged me and told, today I have got one more son from Allah. And that is what makes you understand the feeling of religion in you, and that is a different shade of Indian Army for you, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you are very, very adventurous in life? Tried bungee jumping anytime? Tried any bungee jumping anytime? Okay, ever want to experience a free fall life? From a height of 10,000 meters, when you jump down, it takes exactly 45 minutes to reach the ground. And if it is 1,000 feet, it will take count of 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thud. 10,000 feet will have a lot of time, make you rethink about your life and your existence, why you are born. So if at all you have to rethink about your existence and why you are born, the questions cannot be answered by your parents, you have to rethink for yourself. Then the place is Indian Army, ladies and gentlemen. Jumping is compulsory, jumping is mandatory, landing is compulsory. So if at all you have to have this compulsory mandatory activity in your life, join Indian Armed Forces, ladies and gentlemen. Though I am not a mentor for Indian Armed Forces anymore, any job you do in your life, do it with utmost sincerity, passion, compassion, being humane, being grounded to the earth, being close to your culture, having empathy towards your peers. Never be corrupt in your life. The day you are selfless, any profession you choose, you are going to do wonders in your life. And you are going to be the future dream of this nation. What we dream today, the corruption-free India. The only India which we dream is the corruption-free India. And to have a corruption-free India, you young lads should have a corrupt-free minds first. You are the one who are going to make or break this nation tomorrow. It is not the soldier. Please don't let the sacrifice of my soldiers go down. We would never hesitate to sacrifice our lives for you, better on one condition, that you live your lives as beautifully as you could imagine, as beautifully as you can dream for, as selflessly as you can, as patriotically as you can, as selflessly as you can. This is not Shah Rukh Khan's patent. You should join Indian Army if at all so. You can't buy this uniform. You can't buy the respect that it commands. You have to earn it. So please think about it. It goes to the version for any profession you choose in your, ladies and gentlemen. It is not just Indian Armed Forces. You become a doctor, you become a scientist, you become a lawyer, you become an engineer, you become a teacher, you be a farmer, you be a writer. Your writing should have the essence of inspiring somebody to the righteous cause. And that is what makes you special, and that is what you are bounded to be, called true Indian. It's a challenge that will change you forever. You will be a better human being. And that's a soldier's word, ladies and gentlemen. And that's Indian Army for you. So let's all hear it out from you all. The most important thing what everybody sets for themselves in the life is aim. And to reach your aim, you are supposed to. And sacrifice is all about. You have to shout out loud here. Come on. Honor is your. Life is to. Kill plunks out here. Blood is all about. Zeal is for. Victory is all about. Freedom is for. Faith comes with. Challenge leads to. Glory is overcome by. Fear is overcome by. If you have courage, then you will face. If you have pain, then there is. If you love, then you. If you dare, then. If you have isolation, what will you have? If you have memories, what is it going to lead to? If the strength leads to pride, pride is all about war. And war is the dream of the Indian Armed Forces, ladies and gentlemen. The house is open for any kind of questions. Unlike, I will not tell you that I will refer and come back. All yours.
Not a question, sir, just but anxious. What you did with that boy, 19-year boy who was in the battlefield and was waiting for you from morning till
Today his son's name is also my name, sir. And he has completed his service today. And I had to tell him one thing, sir. If at all he is going to sleep in the battlefield, he is going to sleep forever. So maybe he never slept after that. So reason is, there is every place in the border is not about only fighting the war. It is also about fighting your own emotions. So if that young lad is not told in the righteous way at that right time, then you will have much more, such kind of killings which happen at the borders. So they need to be told in the righteous language. That's how it is. NCC cadets does not have any doubt. Nobody wants to join armed forces? Air Force? Anybody want to join Air Force here? Okay. Good. What are you studying? What are you studying? BA? Your 12th is in science? Physics and maths. You are eligible for AFCAT. Anybody wants to ask anything? Really no? Yes, ma'am.
You have told that we have to control our emotions more while in the army. So how to do it? I mean, in this generation, personally me, I can't.
Control your emotions. You have an answer yourself. How to control your emotions should always be learnt by your dad. Please go back, watch your dad. He is the best person to tell you how to control the emotions. Yeah. Lots of last benches. Any questions you want to ask? Yeah, please. You are free to ask, come on. Yes. Women empowerment, please. Yeah, yeah. Okay, shall I repeat your question for you? You mean to say there is a lot of harassment on women? You would want Indian soldier along with the women to safeguard their security,
Yeah,
right?
like since we say Bharat Mata ki Jai, and in every parts of India, women are treated in a very atrocious manner, and we only does is the candle march. In that,
Who
time,
does the candle march?
as masses, we are only able to do that. So we need the soldiers of India, along with protecting the territory geography. There are places, there are people who are suffering in different parts. Since we stand to portray this, we are also beaten by the same officers. So we need the forces to protect us in time.
I got your point. Sit. Let me be very elaborate in your answer. Don't mind. All the women strength sitting in this hall, please get into your heads today. Don't wait for a soldier to safeguard you. Please awaken the soldier inside you. Each one of you has a soldier inside. Please, bloody, don't wait for the candlelight marches in this nation which happens and it has been forgotten. Why a story of a deprived lady you speak about. This is the nation which has produced Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, madam, who had an 8-year-old lad on her back while she was fighting the war. And you have the highest ranked generals as ladies in this nation. You speak about deprivement? If that was so, a lady wouldn't have borne that 9 times the pain of a death decibel to give birth to a child. And that is the power of a woman. And if this manhood has forgotten that how the woman has to be respected in this nation, then very well please teach them. Please don't expect that there should be a rape to understand what women should go through. Please don't wait for it. Please don't let it happen. It is the bureaucracy which is killing this nation, ladies and gentlemen, it is not the politics. I'll make the statement again. It is the bureaucracy which is killing this nation. Who makes the policies for you? Is it a politician who is going to make a policy for you? No. It's a bureaucrat who is behind a politician who is going to make the policy for you. Let him make it very straight. If you know an article and if you know a constitution, if you know an IPC, this is how it is going to be. Why it is supposed to take longer? You have to fight for that justice. When there's an earthquake, you expect an army to come. When there is a flood, you expect an army to come. When there is a war, there is an army for you. And when there is a natural calamity, there is an army for you. And to make up a bridge, there is an army for you. A boy falls in a well, there is an army for you. And what is the system doing here? Have you ever asked? It happens because you have all been zipped up because of that 2,000 rupees which you have taken while voting. It has been zipped up. You make your own policies, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you the rape victim story in Nagaland. What happened? There was a person who raped a girl, and the entire township marched into the jail, took him out of the jail and butchered him. This happened in Nagaland. Please go through it. And that is what standing for a woman is all about. If that could have been done, because we follow a history of Dharma where we witnessed Panchali. But for a Panchali, what happened, you witnessed it. And that is what is called as Kurukshetra for you. And this very nation has got that sanctity. You know Sita, and she has gone through the deprivement. And what happened was Lanka was fired. So this happens. But as a lady, as a woman, when you ask this question, if you want a soldier to always safeguard you, then you're wrong, lady. I want you to safeguard, you can safeguard yourself better than a soldier. And all you young lords supposed to have that kind of an inclination towards building a system, building an emotion. You are the strength of this nation. And if at all you are rightly educated, and if you are rightly brought up with the right education and with the right culture and with the right atmosphere, these things can be eradicated. We need to rethink over our education policies. We need to rethink about our government policies. We need to rethink about how we actually react to such kind of situations. And that is where the answer lies. Yes, as a soldier, if it was there, the situation wouldn't ever arise. Not about the remedy. The problem wouldn't exist. So please rethink about it. It is for each and one of you sitting in this campus, including boys and girls both. The unfortunate thing in our education system is the opposite of man is woman. That is what you learn, right? But man is supposed to be complementing a woman and woman is supposed to be complementing a man. They are made for each other. So the day we understand this concept as a social being, and yes, it happens, we unitedly should stand against these things and oppose it. And when it is a problem happening, it is not only about rape, it may be about any kind of a problem happening to any individual, we don't stand united. if there is supposed to be a strike in Pondicherry University, to postpone your exams, it will take just 2 minutes for a strike. If there is to be a strike for a right cause, it may take years together. Please speak to your heart first. Every answer is there in your heart. So please rethink about it, rebuild your strength, understand your strength, and wake up to the occasion. That's very important. Yes? Yes?
We are talking about army is there to protect the external wars. And what's your view on the internal wars the country is facing? What's your view on it? And another question is like whenever the word army came, it is always about the physical strength. So what's your view on like how we can contribute, how we can enter into the army without having physical strength, because it has always been taught us like you need to have that physical strength and physical fitness in order to enter into the army. We all have that patriotic feeling inside us, but we don't know how to enter without having that physical strength. So can you please enlighten us on that matter?
First question was?
First question was, army is there to protect us from the external wars.
Internal problems.
Yeah, what about the internal burning problems we are facing? Your
Sure.
view on it?
Internal problems what we are facing. Can you be specific about the problems?
So, social issues, different issues, like what's your take on that whole internal?
Like?
For example, current rape case and different different issues, like since like women are very oppressed in our country, I feel our country.
With 33% of right in constitutional right, you think you're deprived?
I feel so, because women is being oppressed since.
Where are you basically from?
I'm from Madhya Pradesh.
कहाँ मध्य प्रदेश में?
Ratlam.
रतलाम से हो. A girl from Ratlam
Yes.
studying in Pondicherry University
Yes.
feels deprived of women.
Yes, sir, because I have fought to be here.
Oh.
It takes a lot of courage to be here and standing in front of you, asking my question, putting my.
You have answered my question, lady. You need to have the courage to be here. I hope you understood.
Yes.
If you have the courage to be here, you are here. That's what it is all about. You have done. That's what I told you. Please ask deep within. Every answer you got it.
Okay, sir.
It is for all those girls in Ratlam who have been deprived of education. I am
Yes.
talking about each and every individual, it may be male or female, where they have been deprived of a social justice, what it is supposed to be. For that, I think Ratlam is still a better place.
Yes,
There are
I'm-
many places in India where there is no electricity, madam,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I
and we
understand that.
claim
I'm
to be a
privileged enough.
developing nation, and there are no roads. And every time I pass on to a toll road, I feel pity about this nation,
Yes, sir.
because the toll would have already claimed about 10 times the construction cost of the road, but still the toll exists and the road doesn't exist.
Yes, sir.
So you all in future, at least one time in lifetime, please appear for UPSC. Be the part of the system and change the system. You are the system. You are going to make the system. You are only cribbing about the system. You choose a wrong leader and crib for 5 years, and again you are ready to choose the same idiot, again crib for next 5 years. This is your life going to be like this? Please make a change. And that change is going to come from within. And you are going to make the change. You please top your entrances for whatever exams you write and whatever profession you choose. Be the best. You give your best at your end. You sweep the floor and you ensure that it is clean. Be selfless in your lives. You are the people and you are the answer and you are the future of this nation. And if at all you are asking questions that there is somebody to come and help you, no, sorry. You are the strength of this nation. When a soldier guards unwavering cold and stands there for you, doesn't know whether he is going to be killed by the cold or by the enemy, he only hopes one thing, the tricolor soaring high. That means you're all liberal, you're all having that kind of a freedom to express yourself, to be yourself, to lead a happy life with your family, to lead a successful life. And for that life, soldiers sacrifice their lives. And if at all that life of sacrifice to be justified, you need to have a beautiful life. And that life is all about you being what you want to be. And that is what India is all about. Please don't crib that your government did not do it for you. You be part of the government. You go on to create the policies for yourself. It is very, very simple that I think we are the youngest nation of the world. And we have nothing but cribbings for ourselves. This has been fed into your mindset. Please come out of the thought process. It is not, life is not chat GPT for you, my dear friend. And life is not Google for you. Life is a synopsis. Write it down. Life is a poetry. Brief it down. Life is a painting. Color it down. And life isn't a puzzle. It is going to redignify your thoughts only when you come up and say, yes, I am going to make the change for the society. Being selfless in dictionaries will not mean anything anymore. You are going to make a difference. And for you, someone else is safeguarding. And that untold strength, you have to carry it further. That is very important. And your second question is?
So, for women, it's difficult to go into army.
Acha,
It is
I got
always
your
about
point.
physical strength. So, how can you guide us in
I
that?
got your point. If a lady feels that you want to join armed forces and you're not able to,
That is
only physical strength you're talking of, right?
yeah.
Still you want to do good for army.
Yeah. So, what are the ways? Could you please explain, enlighten us on that?
What is your
matter?
aim in life?
So, still figuring out, but it's I entered in the education system, so it's research and.
Then I think you have done a beautiful job already, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir, still there are women who want to join and don't know, so I'm asking.
Okay, for everybody here sitting, any woman who thinks that you are not a soldier, please go back to your mom. You will never find a better soldier than your mom. Punctual, disciplined, selfless, trustworthy, decisive, kind, humane, passionate, loving, caring, strong, determined. Any synonyms you have to add on, you can add on to your mother. Can you ever
Fearless.
have anybody else in your life to dictate terms of a soldier other than your mother at your home? The sacrifices what she makes is more than a soldier, ladies and gentlemen. Just live with that sacrifice what she has made for you and count it worth. And that is more important. And each one of you here who wants to join armed forces, it is, yes, the physical part, it's always there. Apart from that, your attitude, your emotions, your passion would always drive it to you. Who cannot do it to armed forces, in whichever profession you are, you can still do good for this nation. And that attitude matters.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wisdom.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Can you throw some lights on the Indian Combined Defense Service to this question?
Okay. Join Indian Armed Forces. If at all you wish to, NDA, all of you have crossed the age, I think so. 12th standard, you all cleared. You're already in graduation. All men, you're left with CDS, Combined Defense Services. That is the only way where you can join as of now for OTA entry or IMA entry. CDS, go to the website, everything is given to you. Apart from what you Google, you have better things to Google. NCC cadets, whoever are C certificate holders, have got a direct opportunity to go for the service selection board. You know this? And girls have a vacancy of? Girls have a vacancy of? That is why I told you. The entire nation has got only 4 vacancies for girls. How many? 4 vacancies. And somebody like you asked me, sir, if there are only 4 vacancies, in our batch we are 20. And there were 4 girls who asked me this question. And all the 4 are Indian Army officers today. Aishwarya Dechamma, Kritika Devaya, Sona, Tejasvi Rao Ranga, the first women weapon navigation officer of Air Force, WISO, is a lady from Karnataka and Goa Directorate and ex-NCC cadet of 1 Karnataka Girls Battalion, Karnataka and Goa Directorate, just for your info. I hope you understood. I have given 97 officers to Indian Army, Air Force and Navy in last 4 years from Karnataka and Goa Directorate itself. Anybody can make a change. It is only your thought process. You have to believe yourself. You don't need me to come and inspire you. You are an inspiration for yourself and you are an inspiration to me also. If a soldier like me is standing here today, it is because of you people who stand as our inspiration. And the people of India are the inspiration for the soldiers. Yeah, we'll take a last question. Yeah.
Indian Army for girls.
This is last question because sir has to go. Tell me.
How was Indian Army for girls? Like, we heard many stories and all.
You heard stories. You at all you have to experience a story. I am not a storyteller though. All the story which I have told you, I have written the stories. I hope you understood. When you write a story, you speak with your heart. When you tell a story, then you personify the imagination. So, please add the metaphor and simile of your life in a best grammatical way so that you make your life so personified and beautiful as the way you dream about. Hearing stories is very good. Practical implications are different. If at all you need to clean the sewage, you have to get into the sewage, madam. RO will not work. I hope you understood the thought process. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know where to start. The valor was evident in every word you uttered. And you were worried that whether we were not able to understand the humor and jokes you uttered, but I would like to just say about that. The photos spoke more than what you have said here. And the underlying story was very heavy, hanging like a fog on our heads. So maybe that is why we were not able to open up and laugh aloud for the jokes. There was a very heaviness in every photo you have shown to us. So we have come to the conclusion. And now I request Deputy Registrar Dr. A. Saravanan to render the vote of thanks, please.
A very warm good afternoon to one and all present here. It is indeed a matter of great pleasure to extend a vote of thanks for this wonderful session. I take this moment of opportunity to thank our esteemed Vice Chancellor, our Director, Cultural Relation, our Registrar, for having the presence and sharing their insights in a very interesting way at the beginning of the session. Special thanks to the Speaker of the Day, Major Raghavendra C., for his inspiring speech and telling different way to enter into the army. That is quite interesting, sir. I also thank all the deans, HODs, faculty members of DDE and staff of DDE for their valuable presence and contribution for making this event a quite successful one. I take this opportunity to thank the staff from EMRC Computer Center for the live coverage and streaming lively. I thank the guest house management for this wonderful arrangement and the technical support from the staff, housekeeping and horticulture staff, and people from media. And finally, I thank each and everyone who have contributed in every possible manner for making this event, a session, a great success. Eventually, I hope the key takeaways from the session in the knowledge series of DDE would certainly imbibe a sense of being righteousness, loyalty, trustworthy, patriotism, and as Sir rightly said, feeling of nationalism. And apparently, it would change the way of life as we expect out of this session. So thank you once again to all the participants, especially from the student of affiliated colleges, for having your presence and making this session a quite successful one. Thank you once again. Have a good day. Thank you.
Before we end the session with the national anthem, there is a small announcement. Pondicherry University has opened up the opportunity for dual degree from this year onwards. So those who are studying in regular course also can join distance education for another degree. Dual degree options is open. It's just an announcement we want to make as a lot of students are here. So now, all of you please stand up for the national anthem.